Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to all of the nominees. Thank you for being here. Mr. Carencross, let me just start with you, if I could. One of the most pressing, but I think also one of the most overlooked vulnerabilities when it comes to our national cybersecurity posture is the crisis facing our rural hospitals. And I say this as somebody in a state where 40% of the hospitals in Missouri are rural hospitals. Many of these hospitals have no full-time cybersecurity personnel. They can't afford it. They don't have the personnel for it. They don't have the budget for it. And that makes them easy targets for cyber criminals, for ransomware gangs, and even sometimes for nation-state actors. And as you can appreciate, when these hospitals are attacked, it's not just their IT systems that go offline. It's cancer treatments, it's surgeries that gets canceled, it's emergency care that gets disrupted. So let me just ask you, are you familiar generally with this issue and the plight that rural hospitals face in this regard?
What's up, America? Welcome back to the channel where we tell the truth the mainstream media won't tell you, and where America First is more than just a slogan, it's a way of life. Now, I just watched a Senate hearing that honestly should have every single American sitting up straight and paying attention. Senator Josh Hawley, God bless him, one of the few actually fighting for the people of Missouri, and for the rest of us sat down with Mr. Carencross, nominee for a top cybersecurity post. And folks, what we heard was shocking. It's about time the American people hear the truth about what's going on inside this country, with your tax dollars, your infrastructure, and your privacy. So buckle up, because I'm going to break this down for you not with political games, but from the lens of a God-fearing, freedom-loving, America First patriot.
I am Senator, and I was saying earlier, these criminals and our enemies are targeting the most vulnerable Americans, and it's got to stop.
Let me ask you, how would you use your position to help shore up the cyber defenses of rural hospitals and the broader healthcare sector's vulnerability in critical infrastructure when it comes to this issue?
Sure. The first thing is getting my feet on the ground, working with you, working with all your offices in your states to ensure that I'm hearing and understand what those needs are. And then I'm using, if I'm confirmed, the position as the lead coordinator for the U.S. government's cyber policy to make sure that they have the defenses that they need.
Good. Well, let me tell you about something that we've been doing on our end. Last Congress, this committee unanimously advanced my bipartisan bill, the Rural Hospital Cybersecurity Enhancement Act. Ranking Member Peters and I co-sponsored it with many others on this committee. It directed the development of a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy for rural hospitals. It would also have directed instructional materials and resources to be made available to these hospitals because, again, they don't have the budget for consultants. They don't have the budget for people to come in and do this for them. Does that sound like the kind of approach that you would be willing to work with us on?
It does, and I look forward to working with you and your team on it.
Fantastic. Well, I'll take you up on that. I think it's absolutely vital for my state and for the many, many rural hospitals in my state. Let me shift gears a little bit and talk about foreign hackers in a different context. The threat that's already inside the wire, where state-sponsored cyber actors embedding themselves in our infrastructure systems. We have been told we already have in our telecom system. This is the Salt Typhoon issue. We already have hackers who are embedded. In your assessment, how vulnerable are our critical systems to these kind of state-sponsored infiltration campaigns?
Well, Senator, what I was saying is these attacks are scaling up and they're becoming more sophisticated. And so what really is key, since so much of cyber defense falls on the private sector in our country, is a great relationship between the United States government and the private sector. And that involves going to them and listening and figuring out what is the barrier to a smooth and efficient and effective defense. And in some cases, that is working on a regulatory scheme that makes sense. It's incentivizing information flow, and it's using the comparative advantage of the United States government, which can illuminate the battlefield for the private sector and leveraging those assets.
Let me just ask you about what can be done in the way of remediation, which is kind of a fancy word for kicking these foreign actors out of our telecom system. I don't think the American people realize, in fact, I'm sure they don't realize the extent to which our current telecom system has been deeply compromised. I mean, I'll just tell you, members of Congress were told a year ago now, not even a year ago, that we should just expect that our telephone conversations, any unencrypted text messages are being monitored constantly by foreign actors. Our voice messages may well be read, and that's not because there's special access to members of Congress. It's just because that's where foreign actors would choose to concentrate. If a foreign actor chose to concentrate on any member of the audience here, what we were told, behind closed doors, of course, but what we were told is that foreign actors basically have unlimited access to our voice messages, to our telephone calls. This is astounding. And the American people don't realize it because the American people haven't been told. This has been kept from them. And they're sitting, these foreign actors are sitting right now. They're sitting in our telecom system, in our exchanges. What are we going to do to get them out of there and protect the American people who right now are sitting ducks? And frankly, they haven't been told the truth.
Yeah, Senator, I think that is correct. I think you're right that the American public is largely unaware of the scale of this issue. This is not an IT issue. This is an operational issue. It manifests in real life, and it has real, potentially life and death consequences. And as I've said over and over again, they are targeting the most vulnerable among us, along with our telecom system. Volt Typhoon was critical infrastructure. They are squatting on our system. It is imposing, as I've said, a strategic dilemma on us, and that behavior needs to change. And in order to do that, I believe we should begin to impose strategic dilemmas on our adversaries in this domain.
Well, that would certainly be a good start. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let's start with the first thing they tackled. Senator Hawley pointed out that 40% of Missouri's hospitals are rural hospitals. Now, we've been screaming for years that rural America gets ignored by D.C., and here's proof. These hospitals don't have the budget for cybersecurity. They don't even have full-time cybersecurity personnel. Why? Because this corrupt, bloated government would rather send billions of your dollars overseas to countries that hate us instead of protecting your healthcare at home. Think about that. This isn't just about hospitals. It's about cancer treatments being delayed, surgeries canceled, life-saving emergency care not available because some punk with a laptop, or worse, a Chinese or Russian state hacker shuts it down. While Joe Biden let this happen, President Trump is fighting to bring America's strength back to the homeland. And rural America deserves that strength first. Karen Cross, the nominee, admitted criminals and enemies are targeting the most vulnerable among us. Finally, someone admits it. But here's the issue. Why did it take this long to say out loud what we've been worrying about for years? Cyber defense is national defense. This isn't just nerd stuff, it's real life. It's life and death, folks. Hawley talks about the bipartisan Rural Hospital Cybersecurity Enhancement Act. Sounds good. But why do we need a new act to do something that should have been done yesterday? Washington, D.C. makes a career out of delay, while regular Americans get hung out to dry. You know who wouldn't wait for an act or committee? President Donald J. Trump. He would have fixed this in weeks, and you know it. This is where things go from bad to infuriating. Hawley brings up foreign state sponsor hackers already inside our telecom systems. Did you hear that? Foreign governments have access to your calls, your texts, your voicemails right now. Let me ask you, if you or I were spying on foreign governments, what would they do to us? But our so-called leaders just sit around, wringing their hands, acting shocked. Do you remember who started warning America about this? That's right, Donald Trump. He was warning us about China and Huawei years ago. And what did the media do? They called him racist. They mocked him. Now here we are. Hawley revealed that this is being kept from the American people. Why? Why are they hiding this? Simple. They don't want Americans mad. They don't want you demanding accountability. And they don't want you asking the one question they can't answer. Why aren't we kicking them out of our systems right now? Cross says we should impose strategic dilemmas on our enemies. Sounds fancy, right? But I'm tired of fancy words. I want action. Strategic dilemmas don't stop cyber attacks. Real leadership does. Strength does. And we don't need more words, we need results. President Trump was right when he said, weakness invites aggression. And weakness is exactly what Biden and his swamp have delivered on this issue. Cross is right about one thing: this needs private sector involvement. But you know what else we need? A government that doesn't handcuff American companies while allowing Chinese companies like TikTok to operate freely here. They regulate us, but they let foreign hackers squat in our systems. Tell me how that makes sense. Patriots, listen. We're not just fighting cyber criminals, we're fighting against a corrupt system that doesn't care if your grandma's hospital is vulnerable or if your phone is being tapped by Beijing. Here's what the elites don't get. We are awake. The silent majority is done staying silent. You might not see it on CNN or MSNBC, but across the heartland, small towns, farms, diners, real America, we are wide awake now. We see the betrayal, and we won't forget it. It's time to secure America first. That means immediate action to secure rural hospitals, full transparency about foreign infiltration, tech built in America, not China, a president who will stand up to foreign cyber criminals, not bow to them. And folks, you know who that president is. His name is Donald J. Trump. If you're tired of America being treated like the world's punching bag, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and share this video everywhere. It's time to wake up the rest of the country before it's too late. Stay strong, stay proud, stay American. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.